Oh, I had to talk about this. And, news and information, it travels so quickly today, and we're just so accustomed to scrolling through our feeds or turning on the TV or picking up the newspaper and seeing horrible, sad news stories over and over. So, when something like this comes up, something so cool, in so many ways, it's definitely worth talking about. You may have already seen this story yourself. It went viral over the weekend, appearing on many news outlets and social media feeds across the world, and that is the New Jersey North Bergen High School's production of Alien. It captured the attention and imagination of not just die-hard Alien fans, but just about anyone who came across the story, pulling off a charming adaptation of the classic 1979 film with practically no budget, but an abundance of creativity and dedication. The story originated on Reddit, where one of the school students who had worked on the music cues and mics for the production created a thread titled, "My school did a play version of Alien. Here's a picture from opening night last night," with this image attached, and naturally, people had a lot of follow-up questions. One question that seemed to be pretty persistent was, is this a musical? It was not. In the replies, the student explains, "It is not a musical. It works exactly like the movie, with some scenes added like Brett and Parker dancing. Runtime is about 1 hour and 40 minutes. It follows exactly like the movie, with few scenes added to kill time for scene changes. There is a part where the alien walks around the audience to waste time for these scene changes." And of course, there were many questions about how they pulled the production off, how closely it followed the film, and how they were able to replicate the key iconic scenes of the film. Further answers in the thread explain the details. "We practiced for months to pull it off. So much work. The chestburster has sewn underneath the table. There's a separate person who wears a fake head for Ash's attack on the others, and they're sewn inside one of the eggs holding a facehugger and throws it at the person playing Kane. It's really impressive how the teachers planned out these scenes. For example, Brett actually gets grabbed up through the air vent. I think the only big thing we are missing is a cat. We have a little animatronic cat that is used for people with dementia or Alzheimer's. It moves its head around and meows occasionally." There was a specific question about the Parker and Lambert death scene. The response, "It's actually pretty good. The tail is pretty long, so when Parker comes, the alien hits with the tail, while Lambert gets attacked and they turn off the lights." Of omissions, the student states, "I think the only scene we had to cut was Dallas in the alien chamber." Now, that's kind of funny when you think about it, since that scene was, of course, originally cut out of the 1979 version of the movie, and didn't find its way back into the movie until the director's cut in 2003. Maybe just a coincidence, maybe not. As more images and footage came into the thread and more questions about how it was done were being answered, perhaps the most impressive revelation is how they're able to create this production on a shoestring budget. Actually, the student even comments that shoestring would be an overstatement. He explains, "Everything for the play is built from stuff found in the trash. The school didn't fund any part of it. Everything is raised by students, with most of the sets being made from recyclables. North Bergen is one of the least funded schools in New Jersey, but the students are extremely motivated to do stuff. Very dedicated students and teachers. Kids are extremely motivated and passionate about what they are doing. The band kids have the biggest passion for music, while the athletes are passionate for their sport." Locals who were lucky enough to catch it were certainly impressed, with the student creating an update thread mentioning that there were so many awe moments in the show. The auditorium was half full on opening, but when we noticed that people just didn't stop coming in, that was the moment we realized we achieved something amazing. Much praise in the threads is given to the teachers who put it all together, including Perfecto Cuervo, an English teacher, Stephen Defendini, art instructor, and Brian Bonacci, music teacher, who were contacted by Entertainment Weekly and provided some further information on the behind-the-scenes aspects and some further insight into the production. The EW article reveals the following. "My inspiration was just that I'm a huge fan of the movie," says Cuervo, who spent 2 months of his nights and weekends adapting Alien, the play, from the film's screenplay. Stephen Defendini, the school's art instructor, tells EW the play is a collaboration between 3 teachers, including 1 music teacher, Brian Bonacci, with knowledge of stage lighting, and approximately 16 students. "We are a real small drama program, so we're used to doing small plays for the local community," he says, adding how the viral attention online is now such a surreal experience. Defendini's team were responsible for the set designs and costumes, including that xenomorph number, which started out from a standard morph suit purchased on clearance. It was then beefed up with foam donated from Tom Carroll Scenery Inc. in New Jersey. The company donated much of the materials used for the production, including 23 flats for the set. Then, Defendini adds, we shaved down the foam and bought a plastic skeleton head at Target on clearance and painted it black. It was a puzzle. How do you make theater-quality work on the budget of a high school drama department? A lot of improvising and thinking outside the box. In some cases, that includes an egg carton box, some of which were repurposed for the computer lab set. We really took nothing, then made something that didn't exist because we wanted to see what it looked like, Defendini says. We had a stage crew, and our school's a very crowded school, so the stage is used for everything. That includes band rehearsals and study hall. This crew, he adds, came in and they had 4 or 5 days to get all of this done. The article goes on to mention the reaction on social media from just about everybody, Mythbusters Adam Savage, Elijah Wood, even the official Alien account giving it praise. But a sad note is that before this production exploded over social media, the amazing sets they created have essentially gone back to the trash from whence they came. We were actually dismantling the sets before Adam Savage tweeted about it, Defendini says, of making way for other events in the auditorium. Let's see if all this viral attention can make a difference. With all the people wanting to see this now, Cuervo adds, it would definitely need to be a bigger venue. And an update on this story, due to the overwhelming popularity, it was even announced just today that there will be more showings despite the apparent set dismantling. So, if you happen to be in New Jersey, it might be worth checking out. If not, don't worry, there's some possibility of seeing a full video of the production sometime soon. The original Reddit poster states that a recording should be available by middle of May. The teacher is editing all the footage taken into a video. Now that's definitely something to look out for. I know I will be looking. But that's generally the story, just in case you missed it, and I think it's all just incredibly cool. Cool that a movie like Alien, 40 years old this year, is still captivating audiences in unexpected ways. Cool that this group of students and teachers would be so dedicated to putting this production together, showing some unbelievable creativity and resourcefulness. And cool that the story got just such a hugely positive worldwide response, all because, I think, a passion for art is endearing and contagious. I think the response everyone has had is proof of that. Great job, North Bergen High School. Major kudos. And thank you all for watching today. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know what you thought of this story in the comments below. And, do you think North Bergen should try aliens next? Now there's a thought. But that'll do for today, and until next time, this is Alien Theory, signing off.